Are you looking to join Cycling Men of Leisure at one of our events this summer?
You know I am.
Well, then where are we going?
Here's what we're doing. We're going to start our ride season off at the very end of May, going through the first week of June at the Big Bragg. We're going across Georgia yet again. Always a good time. Then in July, we are hooking up in Indiana to do Rain. That is a one-day ride across Indiana, 165 miles. Should be a good time. And then we are going to go to the Bourbon Country Burn in September down in Kentucky. We're going to do some riding, and we're going to get to tour some great distilleries and do some tasting. So it's going to be a great time.
I'm really looking forward to all three. Now, I know that normally 160 plus miles does not sound leisurely, but it's one that's been on our bucket list, and we're going to knock it off this year. So if you're looking to join us, you can find us on our social media pages or go to bragg.org, bourbonCountryBurn.com, and rainride.org. So look for those, and we'd look forward to joining you.
Well, it's time for Road Adventures with Cycling Men of Leisure, the podcast for cyclists who understand that riding is not just about getting to the destination, but the experience along the way. Now, here are the original Cycling Men of Leisure, Adam and Michael.
Welcome to Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure. As usual, I am Adam, and today I am joined with a man who I, sir, am proud of. I have seen some miles on Strava by you, and I am proud of you. My good friend from Central Time, Mr. Michael Sharp. Welcome, buddy.
Thank you very much. Greetings, everyone. Thank you, sir. I don't think you were using the right words. I think you were meaning to say you were shocked the fact that you saw that I was putting some miles on Strava.
I didn't want to be rude, but yes, I was.
Let's just call it for what it is. He was shocked. But, I have not had a lot of time to get out on the roads. And actually, the street that I live on is closed because they've been doing road construction for working towards 5 months now. Not that there's not other roads, but they're doing a lot of stuff around my town. And there's not a lot of good places to ride, which we've talked about before. And my time constraints are really difficult. So I've been trying to make it a point to get on Peloton and ride. And a few episodes ago, I talked about how I can't do it very long because I realize I'm looking at the time or I'm looking at the distance. And I spend most of my time looking at those 2 points. What I found out on Peloton is you can touch those and those will go away.
Cool.
And so if I'm not looking at my time or my distance, then if I just focus on the instructor, on the music, I've been doing a lot of their rides. They do rides around the world where it's like a 15 or 20 or 30 or 45-minute ride, different places. I think I told you the other day I rode in Dublin, and just so happened as I'm riding, it's like, I know that place. It was the Guinness Distillery or the Guinness Brewery. You ride right by it on the ride. So been more successful this year. Been getting in a lot of 30-minute rides. So it's been good. I don't think that's going to really replace the actual road thing, but maybe it does because I got an instructor there yelling, pick it up. So
does that bike go up and down for elevation? I forget.
It does not.
It does not. Okay,
you do the whole thing with resistance.
Okay.
When you get to hills, and the instructor, they have different classes for different things. They sometimes just have hills or intervals or whatever, and they're telling you, okay, here's where I want you to be. Here's your little parameters you should be within, and for as far as resistance, and here's your parameters for cadence. And so they're always like, pushing you and that type of thing.
So I have the S22i, which is the iFit NordiTrack version, which doesn't mean anything. I don't use it. So it holds
looks good in that room.
It does look good in there, and the handlebars hold hangers of stuff when I'm trying to dry something. But it does have where when you go up a hill, it extends the fork up and down, and so And that's not true. I did use it some in the winter, but I just, man, after a while, I get, as everybody knows who knows me or who's been listening to the show, they know I've been on a health journey, and so I've been working out every day.
Sure.
But it just gets so boring just sitting in that room, and I was even, I like to go hiking in the winter and stuff, and so, but even just sitting on the bike, I get what you're saying. It's difficult for me, and I see like some guys that were on our team last year, Italo, man, they were doing like 100K rides on them trainers. I'm like, man, you are a better man than me. So, but I've been proud of you. So yes, to tell you the truth, it was a little bit of a shock. I was on Strava and I was just kind of looking at a couple things and supporting some team members of ours. We do have the Cycling Men of Leisure Strava page. So if you're curious, we do have a club. And it's actually, you can see the feed right from our website, cyclingmenofleisure.com. There is a feed right on there. And so I was looking at some of our team members to say, oh, look who's training, whatever. And wouldn't you know it, there was Mr. Michael Sharp.
Now, let's be honest. The first thing that went through your mind is, my daughter is using my sign-on.
There might have been a part of me that thought that maybe it wasn't.
Somebody else is logging in under his sign-on in that household. No, but it is me.
It was during school hours.
There's been years where we went and done Georgia and Iowa, and I haven't got a lot of riding in. I have been very transparent about, I didn't get a lot of riding in, that kind of thing. And I can wing those rides and get through them a couple times. Sometimes I'm not looking pretty doing it, but I can, if need be. And I'm not saying everyone should be out there training, including myself, because that's not the way to do it. But I've done it that way before. But in July, we're headed to Indiana. And we're doing 165 miles in one day. And we've both done those rides before. And we're going to need I definitely need some heavy duty training for that. So that's my goal.
I've noticed that no one signed up with us.
Hey, come on out and join us. Where are you riding? Rain. It's right across Indiana. Oh, wow. Is that a week-long ride? No, it's a day ride.
One day.
Oh, man. Look at that. I've got something very important scheduled on that.
Somebody find me something to do.
I completely understand. It is not everybody's cup of tea. Even within the cycling community, those long endurance rides, single day rides, not everybody's cup of tea. I get that. So
no, it's definitely
it's okay. You don't need to ride it, because guess what? We'll take pictures and report back on how it went. So you don't even need to be there.
But if you're listening to this and you're thinking, I would like to join the Men of Leisure.
Oh, there's still
July 19th is the ride day. July 19th. And you can go to rainride.org and check it out. And the boys of leisure won't be leisuring, but they'll be there. So
where's that ride end? It ends on the east side of the state. Do you know?
Yeah, Terre Haute to
starts in Terre Haute.
Richmond, right?
Richmond. So if there's any listeners out in Richmond, you want to come out and cheer us on, I suspect we'll be coming over that line at about 7:30 in the afternoon, or the evening, I should say. So come out and
don't you have a box of cowbells? We could send somebody a cowbell.
I have a case of cowbells in my garage.
I remember seeing those.
We can brand those with Cycling Men or Women of Leisure, and you can ring your cowbell for us, because that's how fast we're going to be going. It's not a race, and we don't do anything necessarily fast. So the important thing is we're going to get it done.
So when we were doing some prep work for the show, and we've mentioned before, usually the night before we record, we kind of lay out an outline. We were at the rainride.org last night, and I saw that it said 2024 results. Results for what? It should be DNF or DF. It shouldn't be a race. So
they keep track. This particular ride, we've done Michigan and others where you've done 160 to 165 miles in a day, and that don't keep track. This one likes to keep track of your time,
right?
And that motivates some people. That doesn't really motivate me. I'm not trying to break any land speed records. I don't have anything to prove. I just want to get the 165 miles under my belt. That's going to be the important thing.
Yeah.
And I
just
have
the finish
from
would be,
7 in the morning until 9 in the evening to do it. So
I think it's 5 in the morning.
is it? Yeah, probably earlier.
I could be wrong. I don't know. I better not misspeak. So I think you go pretty darn early. So maybe you're right. Maybe it's 7
I
to
think it
9
is.
o'clock.
I think it is earlier because obviously it's July in the Midwest. So probably be a good idea.
On behalf of Adam
and Michael,
we both want to say thank you
for your support.
I'm looking. Let's see here. Well, might have to look at it some other time. So,
What are you looking for?
oh, just the time is see if it said.
Oh,
Saturday morning scheduled start time. I'm looking. I apologize. I can't find it.
Yeah,
oh well,
okay.
We'll update that.
It's early in the morning.
It's pretty early. Get them a rolling. So, usually it says like the route opens up at a certain time or whatever, but all good. So, we will find that. We can update that at the next time we get a break. Let's see here. I do have a graphic for this. I'm always slacking.
No,
Here
not
is
graphics again. Not
here
Dancing Santa, is it?
No. This is the
I think we all
for
have
our
that.
YouTube fans, our leisure community. Got a couple updates.
All right.
I'm going to start with. All right. I'm going to start with the executive director of Bragg, Mr. Franklin Johnson, and his wife Heather. They've been in Croatia scouting for their ride.
Yeah. Now there's a job right there. I'm in Croatia with my wife scouting for a ride. I blew it. That's the gig I should have got. Not that now, Franklin, I know you're listening. I know you're getting the job done and all that. But let me tell you, when I look at those pictures, it's like, whoo, looks like you are working really hard. So
the one where
I'm
they're
jealous.
jumping up and down, where they're like, they're both of their legs are in the air, like, and I'm like, yeah, here I am at work and salivating over your blue water. And Heather was great. She showed pictures of their, boat and accommodations and delicious food. And so they're definitely living it up. So
living it up.
Definitely check out bragg.org for their international rides. So, and then let's see. Oh. Our friends Walter, Chris, Sarah, and Lacey are in Lafayette, Louisiana with Ride Zydeco.
Zydeco, which is on our list, which we actually talked about this year. It's just really an early ride, so we have to kind of plan it. But man, I'm a little jealous. I love New Orleans. I love Louisiana. I really, really love the food down there. I'm into crawfish and rice and that whole 9 yards. So.
And the Zydeco music.
I got no problem with the music whatsoever. Yeah.
Bruce White.
Hey, I remember that name.
He's the gentleman from the 9/11 trail that we interviewed and followed back up with while out in the middle of the ride. He is riding. Let me see here. I don't want to misquote. Give me a second here. I got to look at something. I believe he is riding.
Isn't he riding from
100 miles?
Isn't he riding from is it Pensacola?
Yeah.
Or New Orleans?
In Destin.
Pensacola?
I think they're in Destin today. Let me see here.
I don't know where he's starting. He ends up in Key West.
Yes.
What a ride. And this is the perfect time to ride down there along the coast. Not too hot. You get there before all the vacationers and stuff move in. So, yeah.
Yeah, 1,200 miles from New Orleans to Key West, Florida. He's posting every day his ride. where they've been, where they're going, people they're seeing along the way. So that's really, really cool. His pictures look absolutely beautiful. They're having some great weather.
I've driven the coast from like New Orleans all the way down to, well, I haven't went all the way down to Key West, at least driving. But I mean, that is just great country down there. Great country.
That is all I have for this episode for our leisure community, besides a segment we're going to do later in the show, which we got a lot of interaction with, but I feel like we should separate that, which is songs to add to the playlist.
Yes.
So we'll talk about that in a little bit later.
A lot of people have their input on that, which is
they
cool.
Sure do.
Yeah.
But last time I kind of blew it. So this time,
yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time for Listener Spotlight.
All right, Listener Spotlight. Let me give you the clues to remind everybody. And this one's a hard one, but I felt it very important to do this because we have had people listening from this community since I think our second or third episode ever. And they religiously listen to our show. So I felt we needed to, up the ante a little bit and make sure that we represented them. But some of the clues were: the city is named for a community in Alabama. The railroad came through the area in 1902, and the city was platted in 1903. It started as an agricultural community, but later it developed with coal mining. Today, the town is part of a larger suburban area, so it's a suburb. It is one of the largest manufacturing hubs in the state that it resides in. And it is located within a Native Peoples reservation.
St. Louis.
Oh, so not close. Thanks for playing. Just a bit outside. All right. Our listener spotlight is highlighting the community of Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
Wow. Broken Arrow. Well, thank you, listeners from Broken Arrow. Thank you all, listeners. But as always, thank you, listeners in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Tell me about Broken Arrow, Oklahoma.
Well, I'm glad you asked, because I'll give you a few facts about Broken Arrow. It's named after a community in Alabama. It's actually named after an old Creek community. And when I say Creek, I'm talking the native people, the Creek, who were expelled out of their area and basically settled in a community about 5 miles from the original settlement of this town. It's a suburb of Tulsa, Oklahoma. It is the third largest manufacturing hub in the state of Oklahoma. And it is located within the Muskogee Creek Reservation. So there you go. Thank you guys for listening. It has not gone unnoticed that you guys are constantly listening to every episode, and we certainly appreciate it.
We sure do. When you were telling me about it last night, I was like, hey, all right. So
I didn't tell him where it was, though.
No.
I just told him people have been listening there for a long time. So
I know. Everybody sometimes will say, well, does Michael ever tell you?
No way.
No. I
want you to be genuinely shocked or surprised or indifferent, whatever. I want the natural reaction.
I have an update.
Mm-hmm.
Rainride.org. Took me a little bit while you were.
I was looking too, but I couldn't find it.
I found it.
Okay.
Rain starts at 7 a.m.
Oh, I was right then. Okay.
From St. Mary's Road in Terre Haute, Indiana, and it finishes at Richmond. At 6:55, there is a pre-ride briefing. 7 a.m., there's a start, and the course closes at 9 p.m. So you get 14 hours.
Now, there's two things that concern me. Number one,
Yes.
the pre-ride
Briefing.
get together briefing. 5 minutes or less. I appreciate that. Hey, we're going to ride. We're riding across the state. Follow the markers. There's
Good
some
luck.
rest stops. Knock yourself out. Remember, hydrate. Good luck. The other thing that concerns me is we are starting at like St. Mary's Road or something. It kind of makes it sound like they're just going to take us out alongside some road and dump us out.
No, it's a college. It's
okay. Because, hey, you boys get out right here and start riding. We're just in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
We're starting into college. Okay.
Yeah, we decided that we would stay at the college.
Are we staying in dorms?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, woo!
Like
We're
the
gonna
old days.
relive. Well, you went to college a little later in life. We're gonna relive college life as 19-year-olds. How about that? We're gonna
leave your toga at home this time.
No, we're bringing togas. We're gonna bring some beer. We're gonna do, lunge races down the hallway when we flood the bathroom, things like that. It'll be great.
All right, buddy. I'll be happy for you. You can remember
You're going to be in bed sleeping so that you're well refreshed, but
you can remember your college days. So, you're right. I did go to college later on. I went backwards. I bought a house first, and then went to school. So,
nothing wrong with that.
No. Well, thank you for always your hard work on Listener Spotlight. I know that many enjoy it. I was surprised. I was combing through the social media, and this time everybody definitely jumped on board with the playlist. I think you're right. Maybe the Listener Spotlight was a little difficult, and we did not have anybody who came out of the woodwork. So
it was hard because I'll just say one final thing, and then we'll leave it. But I had tried to do this town before, but there wasn't a lot. I mean, there's just some towns that I live in one of those towns where there's like, nothing much historical has ever happened, or
it's got 2 stoplights.
Yeah. But, there's really not a lot to say about it. Unfortunately, I'm right on the Kansas border. So if our town would have been founded 20 years earlier, like during the Civil War and Bleeding Kansas and stuff, there would have probably been something really cool well, maybe not really cool, but something historical happened here, but it just didn't happen. So
$4 stores.
3
now.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
And we got an extra stoplight. So we're progressing right along. So, all right, what do we got next?
What we got next is I'm going to give you a dealer's choice. I got something to talk about, or we can go into the playlist. What would you prefer?
Hey, Adam, I need a Coke.
Sounds good. We'll be back after a quick break.
Let's hit. I'll tell you what. Let's do something to talk about.
Okay. So you and I made an agreement many moons ago that this show would be non-political. We wanted to just stay even keeled. But I want to know.
We're not talking politics.
I'm not talking politics. I promise you.
All right. I'm just making sure we're sticking on that thing.
This is a non-political. This is just factual data.
Okay.
The administration has put tariffs forward, and I'm watching all kinds of what?
What? No, I'm kidding.
I'm watching all kinds of stories and articles about major bike brands increasing prices and parts, pieces, things of this nature. And it made me just curious if you have decided, based upon the current situation, if you've picked up any bike pieces or parts along the way just to try to either beat the price, or have you decided to put something on hold for a little bit and just to hold back? I was just curious either way. It's a double-ended question, but I was just curious.
Well, first off, for anybody who doesn't understand, tariffs are just taxes. Just to kind of give everybody a background, they're taxes that goods coming into our country has to pay. Okay, that's what that means is when those goods come in, whether it be something that's been manufactured or raw goods, they get taxed appropriately. and whatever that percentage is for the country. So what that means is that as tariffs rise or go up, that's going to make things more expensive. So the question you ask is a good question. Yes, that has actually affected my buying or my spending when it comes to cycling. Now, I wasn't going to make a big purchase like a new road bike or anything like that. But I had a couple small things that I wanted to get to try out for our new ride. And a couple of them were off of our Christmas wish list.
Okay.
It's like, well, hey, I'll try that out, see how it is. It's something that I would really be interested in. And I will say that it was something, I actually bought both of these things. It's been probably at the end of February.
Okay.
I was going to wait till it got closer, but I was keeping the kind of figuring it out. And it's like, okay, well, if these tariffs do go into effect, most of this stuff is coming from Asia. And I know what, we basically know what the taxes were then. I don't necessarily know what they're going to be or what they are now. So I did go ahead and purchase them early with the expectation that I might get hit with a few dollars more for the product.
Gotcha.
Because that's what happens, the taxes go up, the manufacturer then passes that on to me. So I did. And a couple things I got, I believe you got one of these. It's, we'll do a little show and tell for a second. It's the light that has the little piece here. And if you're not watching us on YouTube, it's basically a light, very bright, that has the clip-on connection for your road computer on it. We talked about these on our Christmas wish list episode. And I did go ahead and buy one of those. And then the other thing that I got is the cycling wallet that we also talked about. Because, I generally carry that like
Star
sunglass
Wars
case thing. The what?
Star Wars wallet.
Well, I do carry the Star Wars wallet, but this is more for my gear that I put in my back pocket, like my, sunscreen, lip balm, different things like that I generally shove in like a glass case, and it doesn't always fit. This way I can put everything, including my phone, zip it in there, slide it right in. It's waterproof, and I'm ready to go. So, and then there was one other thing. I'm not going to talk about that online that I did buy cycling wise because I haven't even talked to you about it. So, but yeah, I have bought some things sooner than what I was going to try to avoid any additional cost. How about you?
Yes, I picked up some tubes.
Did you get the lightweight ones that look like they won't hold together? And
yeah, the one that you and I both held away from our face when we were blowing it up.
Thought it was going to explode, but it is one heck of a tube. They're awesome.
They are. I have, I got to get the 80 millimeter Presta, so I ordered some of those. And then what else did I? Oh, I got a pump like yours. So when I do rides around this area, so I decided to get one of those. And then, the light, you're right. I got the light, which I've been out doing. Oh yeah, I got that, right? That Cyclops.
The big Cyclops or Cyplus.
Well, I figure if someone makes me mad, I could throw it at them like a weapon. So, and then, that razor light or whatever they call it, riser or whatever it's called. I've been using that every night. I've been training not every night, but Raveman.
Yeah. Did you get the 160 or the 300?
I think the 160. Brightness? I think 160.
I got the 300. Not that it matters, but it should be kind of interesting. So do you like it?
I do. Yeah. I've been using it on the flash mode. I haven't really been using it as a light per se. I mean, like a...
Well, you're not riding out in the dark either.
No. Yeah. No.
You're just doing it.
So I've been using it as a flash mode so I can be seen. I did find one flaw with it, but it's not the flaw of the product. It's the flaw of the person who set up the whole system with the aero bars, aka me. Because of where I put my mount for my computer, it's in between the aero bars. So I did that so I could protect the computer. But with that light in there, you know how it curves around the front so people could see you from left and right.
Mhm.
Unfortunately for me, it's right in my area. Yeah, exactly. If you're looking on YouTube, you can see it curves around. So if you're not on YouTube, it faces forward, but then it has like curvature on left and right side. Because of that curvature where your fingers are right now, it's flashing right up against the arrow bars, as opposed to, for a safety concern, flashing out to the.
Yeah,
so
but
what I
that's
thought
just on
about
the
doing
sides,
is
though.
loosening that. Yeah,
I don't think
I
that.
thought about loosening it a little bit and then lowering it, so then it would be below the.
But is that little quarter of
Below
an
the
inch
arrow
light
bar.
going to make a lot of difference to your left and your right? Maybe it would. I don't know, but I don't know. Give it a try.
Well, they see the brim. They're like, "What is that boy wearing on his head?"
Let's run him down. So,
Well, I was thinking when you were saying that your sunscreen in your wallet, I'm like, well, dude, if you'd wear a brim, you wouldn't have to wear that carcinogen. So,
I don't think you understand that light bounces off of things. So light can bounce off the road and go right underneath your brim. Just saying. The
you
other
mean
thing
that's why? That's why I usually have a sunburn on my cheeks.
The other thing that I did buy that came is I did buy some new Cycling Men of Leisure gear from our store.
I love it.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with tariffs or anything, but
I don't know where that factory's from. Is that factory from?
Oh, it's in China.
It is.
Yes. Here's the hat I bought. Very nice. Yeah, it's in China. It came from China. So
good enough. Well, appreciate you supporting our store. Not that we get anything from it, but thank you for supporting our store. So, I do have 2 articles. I just wanted to quote a couple things here just for interesting factors. So, BicycleRetailer.com on April 17th said Trek and Electra retailers were informed Thursday by email that bike prices on most models will rise immediately because of the 10% tariff surcharge announced April 2nd, increasing costs to a level that needs to be addressed. And that one goes on and says basically, this does not include current stock, but only new bikes coming in, which I always complain when they raise gas prices. I'm like, wait a minute, but the tank the 10,000 gallons you have in there,
the gas I'm pulling out here was purchased 2 weeks ago.
Exactly.
At the lower price.
That was kind of cool. And then on bikemag.com on April 21st, Specialized Trek raises prices as new tariffs take effect. Bike companies are beginning to feel the impact of the new U.S. imposed tariffs, and consumers are too. Tariff impacts are reaching consumers, yada, 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 yada. But it just, I was just curious if that's, since we do have a cycling and leisure podcast, I felt that I could ask you. So,
the other thing I did buy is I bought the smaller Sci Plus Air thing.
Oh, that'll be nice.
That was the other thing I bought too. It's one of those things when I heard that they were going to raise tariffs, I immediately knew what that meant for us. I mean, I understand how they work and that kind of stuff, and that amount that's paid out has to be paid by somebody. And typically that somebody's going to be me if I'm buying that product. So, I did do a little bit of proactive stuff. I mean, I didn't go, crazy. It's like start hoarding stuff, paper products from Canada. I'm going to, stock up on that. Or no, I didn't go crazy, but a couple things that I knew I was going to get.
Things.
What's that?
I apologize. I said, I apologize. I think one of the most important things you just said there is that tariffs are going to be paid by you. So, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it right here on Road Adventures of Cycling Men of Leisure.
No, I'm not going to be paying everybody's tariffs. No.
Oh, sorry.
Not the way the economy works, but thanks for playing.
Yeah, well, like I said, I just was curious. So, let's get into something a little more fun. So,
our playlist?
Our playlist. Also, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, what do you think of my new lights back here, man?
He's got some purple, changing to blue, changing to aqua, changing to white. He's got some lights going on back in the back. I mean, it's kind of
put him behind all the bourbon bottles.
I would say it looks groovy.
It looks pretty cool. Yeah. So I figured I used to have these behind my TV, and so then like if something was red on the right side, it would be red on behind the TV, but I have a different version, so I had these lights, and so I thought, you know what, that'd be great for the podcast. So if you're looking, look right above my head if you're on YouTube. So
are you going to show the shag rug next week?
Oh yeah, we like the old shag. That's so shagadelic. So
there you go.
I got to get out my phone because you and I, well, first of all, you and I got in trouble on YouTube.
But we knew we would, though.
Yeah, we figured we would.
So knew we would. We were just seeing what we could get away with, which wasn't much, but
no, they caught on pretty quick.
Yeah, well,
so they played it in the United States. So what we did is we were playing. I played Jerry Mungo.
He played. I don't know.
Summer Bike Song or whatever. I can't think
75
of it right now,
seconds of the song.
Yeah. And so what they said is we'll play it in the US, but we won't play it in Egypt. We won't play it in Australia. And I'm like, well, there goes the international listeners this time. So
it won't play it in Egypt.
Yeah, Egypt was one of the ones where they wouldn't play it. I'm like, okay, well, good enough, buddy. We got an overwhelming response of people willing to give us their playlist and songs, which I thought was really cool. So I'd like to take some time and give you a few of those.
Yeah, let's hear them.
All right. So let's see here. John Rhodes. He says that he loves long jams. Long jams are nice on bike tour, such as Stranglehold by the Motor City Man, U.S. Blues by the Dead, and This Old Cowboy by the Marshall Tucker Band. You know, I can get on board with that. I'm a big Dave Matthews fan, and so like a big jam song that's like, 20 minutes long. I can get on that board. I
don't have the attention span for that. That's a good song to listen to afterwards when you're just relaxing. But again, my attention span is just like, okay.
Squirrel.
I gotta, things have to be, exactly moving fast. I get bored too easy. There's my problem.
Good friend and team member and van camper builder and debrim wearing Keith Erickson. I have a huge playlist, he says. Lots of oldies that people get a kick out of on Ragbri. Here are a few. I thought you would like this one. The Bonanza theme song.
Yes.
Rawhide.
Yeah, go ahead.
In the honor of your wallet, Star Wars.
Star Wars.
What about Eastbound and Down?
Little Jerry Reed from Smokey and the Bandit, Eastbound and Down. That is actually currently on my playlist. That's a great song. Load it up and truck it.
Run Boy Run.
Mm-hmm.
Top Gun. Fireball. On the Road Again. Red Solo Cup. You fill me up. It's time for a party. And then Bang the Drum. Many more, he says, are on the list. Spotify.broken spoke adventures. New ride list. He's even giving you a cheat code to his playlist.
Nice. Well, we appreciate that. I can get on board with some of those. I will admit, I do have only one song that's instrumental. Like, he said he had Star Wars and he had Bonanza. I only have one song on my entire playlist that's instrumental.
That Liberace one that you play?
No.
Just kidding.
Wow. No, I actually have the theme song from The Magnificent Seven, the original.
Okay.
It's one of those Westerny, they use that same music in like 50% of the Westerns that were produced in, the 1960s and 70s.
So Keith has a very important person to him. He calls my wife. Melanie, our team member
important.
and the brim wearer.
I'm not holding that against him.
Please
I
don't.
actually am, but
No, she says a playlist favorite is "Take Me Home, Country Road" by John Denver.
Little John Denver, you can't go wrong with that. I can get on board.
Rome by the BB. And the way she spells it, I guess I feel bad. I don't know this song. Or maybe I do know. I just don't know I don't. The B-BE. It's a Great Day to Be Alive by Travis Tritt. So
that's a good one.
Appreciate Melanie adding to the list. I'm looking to see if I thought I had somebody else, but maybe not. Let's see here. Oh yeah, we do. That was, I believe, by Matt Robinson. Jump Around, House of Pain. Jump Up and Jump Down.
Jump Around.
Getting Jiggy with It by Will Smith. Santa Monica by Everclear.
Okay.
Spiderwebs by No Doubt. He says Shoop by Salt and Pepper.
Shoop. And
I love his signature. I am what I am. So
we're not judging anybody. Well, Adam is, but that's okay. I'm not judging anybody by their music.
Yeah, as you said about the Brim.
I said their music, not their fashion. Completely different. But anyway, everybody's got their own thing. So,
do you have Ryan Reynolds Mint mobile commercials by you?
Oh yeah.
My favorite commercials is like, I'm not judging anyone. Well, maybe I am. Maybe.
Exactly.
If you want to pay more, that's fine. I'm not judging you. Well, maybe I am. So I think that's kind of funny. So
no, it's interesting to see, because I will admit I have no rap type, kind of that hip hop stuff on my playlist.
Gotcha. Hey, Michael, I need a coffee.
Okay, we'll be back right after this message.
Well, I'm going to go back just to mention like these jam band songs just for a second. It's funny. I know you're not a real big Dave Matthews Band fan, which is fine, no problem. But he's got some like songs called like The Stone, or different variations where some songs are like 20 minutes long, and they kind of have a crescendo that goes up and then comes back down. He sings all along the Watchtower, and I mean, it just starts out real slow. And so when I'm pedaling and I'm by myself training, as it goes up, then of course I get that feeling. So I can kind of get behind some of those. But I think if you listen to it in a large group, it would be like, dude, come on, let's turn to the next song. So might be okay when you're by yourself. But and some of those songs could be nice for listening afterwards. Everyone's, taking a shower, sitting back, having a beer or bourbon or Coke or maybe coffee or whatever strikes your fancy.
I think this is what we need to do. Next time we're having a speakeasy, we show up with a liquor. I think we need to say it's speakeasy time, and then just break out into playing theme song from Bonanza.
I love it. I think Keith would love it too.
Start it off. It's a good song.
Before your bookend of listener spotlight, I have two pieces of information about Big Brag 2025. So I have it on good authority that I'm hoping that it'll be our next show. I don't want to promise because the man is traveling back, but Franklin has a few teasers about Big Brag 2025. I'm holding on to some proprietary information that I just can't say, but it's pretty cool. And so he's going to come on this show and let the cat out of the bag on a couple of really cool things happening at Big Bragg 2025.
I got a secret about Big Bragg 2025. I'll tell you.
Okay, go ahead.
We're riding in Georgia.
And there's elevation.
And there's elevation.
Savannah said, "You boys better have been training." Oh, gosh. My other thing about Bragg is I'm curious about something. But this show is going to come out on the 27th, April 27th.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be riding Dawn Farm, as many listeners know. If you listen to, we're on season 4. And if you've listened to other seasons, you know that I don't always ride it because it rains or it's cold, but I definitely support Dawn Farm Ride for Recovery.
He's a fair weather cyclist.
I am a fair weather cyclist.
Mm-hmm.
I fully admit it. Last year it was cold and rain. I had a hot coffee in my hand and drove home in the heat. Yes, sir. No problem. Check. This year the weather looks great.
Farms, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully we'll get to support them. No matter what, they got my money, and really cool. Totally unexpected. I had a $50 donation from an employee who knows about the Dawn Farm and knows what it stands for, and wanted to make a donation. And due to some personal stuff in his life and helping somebody he knows, he walked into my office and put $50 on my desk and said, "Would you please make a donation?" So
That's awesome.
I thought that was really cool. So, but it got me thinking. This is coming out on April 27th. Normally, you're the guy that I'm like, "Hey, dude, I got this packed and that packed and this packed." And we're like a week out and you'll go, "Yeah, I haven't even started." And I never know if you're just screwing with me, if you're just doing it to, no.
I'm not. I'll be, excuse me, I'll be honest with you. I am not most of the time screwing with you. I mean, I do screw with you a lot, but when it comes to packing, I tend to, I'll do it tomorrow night. I'll do it the next night. Something comes up. And then I'm typically the guy the night before that's like, I should have been in bed 2 hours ago, you know?
Right.
So yeah, I don't do a real good job of that most of the time because I always think I have way more time than I have, and I don't.
So saying that, for the 2025 flight to Atlanta for you and I, have you started throwing some stuff together?
Surprisingly enough, I have.
Really?
Yeah, actually, that's why I was able to, reach down here and pull out this other bike pump.
Okay.
Hey, look at this. Oh, there's a bike helmet.
Okay.
I got all sorts of my cycling. Oh, there's a cycling computer. So see, I'm not lying about it. I actually have.
That's cool.
A big chunk of this. And I'll tell you why. Because about a week ago, because we're about 5 weeks out now, I started thinking about traveling with my bike, which traveling with my bike now, I mean, I remember the first time we did it, it's like, oh my God, this seems very too much. Now it's like old hat, no big deal. The problem that I have is that the bike boxes are big.
Mm-hmm.
They're designed to be pulled a certain way. I have a big duffel that has like backpack straps on it, things like that. I absolutely hate trying to get from my vehicle to the luggage check-in because I'm carrying 70 pounds of weight on my shoulders and I've got this thing I'm lugging behind me and it doesn't flow very well. And of course my bag is hitting the thing and you've got to keep the bike box at a certain angle or else it doesn't roll. It's terrible. So I dread that part of it. And then I also dread when I get there to, our final destination, then we have to get all this stuff to the hotel. So that had prompted me to figure out new ways that I can transport my bag and my bike box in a much more convenient, non-exertion sort of way.
Okay.
So that got me pulling things out. And so I have started early because I want to take some of that gear and I've got a couple ideas to maybe make this whole transport situation easier and more convenient.
Okay.
So that's why I started early.
That's cool. I've only been to your new Kansas airport twice. I was there with you, and then recently, I was there for a conference. So is it frowned upon? I know it's frowned upon. I know the answer, but I'm just wondering versus practical versus actual. Sky Priority. I know you're Sky Priority. So Sky Priority, the two times I've been there, there's been no line in Sky Priority. Have you ever considered driving up, taking a chance, risking it, walking into Sky Priority, dropping off the bike and the bag, and then taking and going back? Or is that just like crazy?
No, that's actually a good idea. And here's what I did last time. Actually, I've done this a couple of times. I don't trust to pull up there and park, because you park on the first, like the ground level or whatever.
Yeah.
Or you pull up there to depart, and then, you have to go in, and it's quite a ways to get back in there. I don't trust that, the 15 or 16 on, police officers that they have on duty are not just going to immediately call the tow people. And by the time I get everything back, now my car's gone, and it's like, I got to deal with that. So I never trust that, because that's going to happen to me. I'm that guy. But what I have done the last couple of times is I have went up to the parking that's right in front of the airport and parked. And generally I can get like in the row. It's a parking garage. I can generally get on a row on the level. That's the level that I need to be right in front of the airport. So then I just have to walk over the 2 lanes of traffic and get in the building, and then go from there. And I've done that a couple
Because
times.
To be honest with you, what I asked you to do in Detroit, I would not be able to get away with. Because when you depart at Detroit, I know you've been there a few times, but you go to the top for departures, and the ramp brings you up to the top, just like your airport, by the way. If you come to the top, and if I were to get out and try to go into Sky Priority real quick, I would never make it back before my vehicle would be towed. So, but I just know that the 2 times that I was there, maybe I just got lucky. I mean, maybe maybe things just worked out where I was able to,
I don't want to chance it. That's my thing. So I'll park there. I'll take my stuff in, check it in, go back out to my car. And I think it cost me $1 in the, 20 minutes that I'm there. And then I'll drive my car over to long-term parking, hop the bus, come back over. And then I don't have to deal. I've already got everything checked in. I'll just go straight to, the fast security line and just go right into the airport. So it takes a little bit more pre-planning, but it does work out better than trying to lug that bike box and my big duffel bag onto one of those little, you're a public transit guy, one of those little buses, and then pulling it off and stuff. So
stand behind the yellow standee line, please. So I talked about you at work today. I said every time we go on a bike trip and then we go into the town where they use the shuttle buses and the yellow standee line there, I'm like, get behind the yellow standee line. It's a federal line. So
you do always call me out. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well, especially the one time we were on the bus going across Michigan with Neil's ride with Shoreline. And literally you were just like relaxing and your leg just like barely went out. Like, what are you doing? And the driver knew I was messing with you. I thought that was great. But well, I too have slowly began, and where it came from, honestly, is brag. I don't know if it's Stephanie or Franklin, or maybe it's a pre-planned post, but put the brag packing list on Facebook. I saw that. And so, and so I think you saw that too. So, which got me thinking about starting to gather my items. I know you and I have some really cool stuff going on, and we are not going to talk about that. But we are going to talk about it a little bit. Okay.
We've got some really cool stuff. And when he says really cool stuff, We have a couple of things that we're working that looks like it's going to get together. A couple of special events we're going to be throwing during the brag ride for our team.
Mm-hmm.
And we got some fun stuff to pass out to everybody too.
I'm excited.
That's all we're saying, but
I'm excited. So, all right. With that being said, will you finish us up with a listener spotlight?
I absolutely will. This episode's listener spotlight the clues are as follows. This town was founded in the mid 1880s. The community was early on. The community was likened to Italy, meaning that they would, compare it to Italy. A major development from economic point of view did not occur or did not come to the area until World War II, when the Army Air Force trained there. Let me go back here. I didn't put these in order. If you are into golf, which I know you are, this city is for you, 100%. However, if you're not into golf, but you like pickleball, this is also a great town for you. And the final hint: the Spanish conquistadors did not find any fountains of youth or a fountain of youth. However, if they were at this community or in this town today, they might feel like they found the 7 cities of gold. How's that?
Wow.
Pickleball, golf. Someone should get this one.
Augusta. No, just kidding. Wow. Conquistadors.
Now, here's going to be the problem. As soon as I say conquistadors, people are immediately going to think of a couple of certain areas or states. Little known fact, the conquistadors got all the way up into almost central Nebraska. Just to let you know.
Okay.
And actually Coronado himself got here to the middle of Kansas. So the conquistadors had a pretty wide swath, bigger than what most people would think. So I'm just saying, when you start listening, thinking about conquistadors and things like that, you keep an open mind that it wasn't just like, Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California, Texas and Florida or whatever. So.
Didn't they find, this is totally off script. So was that. I didn't hear that until last night either, but didn't they find like large boat, like in the middle of the land where there's no water?
They found a couple of those over time in a couple of different places. But what's interesting about the conquistadors, they were all over. In fact, in a little town in Nebraska where my parents used to live when I was in college, just south of that, and that's like in central Nebraska, the conquistadors actually had a battle. It's documented and all that. Actually had a battle with the indigenous people and the French, right there. And there was just a place found, I think it was just south of Wichita here a couple of years ago, where there had been rumored this huge native village that had been attacked by, one of the conquistadors and his army. And they just thought it was kind of, it's one of those stories somebody tells, but they've actually found the site now, and it matches with the documented records of the friars and the religious people that went along to document it. So
it's cool.
It's crazy, but they have found boats in a couple of places that boats shouldn't be. And the question is, how did it get there? So,
Well, with that intriguing thought, I will say that yesterday, sir, for me, was a great day for a bike ride.
absolutely.
Thank you for coming along with Adam and Michael on Road Adventures with Cycling Men of Leisure. If you have enjoyed this, please subscribe to the show on the podcast app of your choice.
Hey, we just wanted to remind you that we've got some really cool products at our Jersey and our swag store.
That's right. You can visit cyclingmenofleisure.com. At the top of the page, you'll find our stores page. Click there. There's 2 QR codes. The one on the left has a J on it. That's the store for the jerseys. The one on the right is just a swag store. Has all kinds of different items. Kind of customizable. You can kind of make the swag the way you want it. If the QR codes are giving you an issue, don't worry. Underneath, there's 2 buttons that you can click on. Thank you, and have a great day.